welcome in Ryan Odom to Life on the Bubble. He's no longer on the bubble. He was on the bubble for about a week when he was underground and nowhere to be found. But he's left the bubble. He has surfaced, and he's about to get on an airplane to go to VCU. So, Ryan boy, first, what's the last week been like?
Oh, it's been crazy. It's been crazy for sure. I mean, obviously, this time of year, can be so exciting, for guys like myself, but it also can be heartbreaking, and I've been through that too, where all of a sudden you're looking for work, in this business. And so, I think what gets talked about a lot of times are situations where guys are moving up and they're getting these cool jobs and opportunities and obviously big responsibilities. But then you also have, some of our brothers in this profession that, are going the other way. They're trying to find themselves and figure out what's next. And so a lot of time I say this time of year sucks, to be honest.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's exciting for you. So, to give people a little background, Ryan Odom used to be my roommate in 1983, 84, when I became, I don't even know what my official title was at the University of Virginia. Basically, I was the entertainment for Coach Odom and Coach Holland, basically. Your dad,
no, you
Coach
took us to the Final Four. I mean, you were the
exactly
the
conduit,
four-leaf clover that got it done.
But before I moved into my basically spacious one-bedroom apartment in the basement in Charlottesville, I was living in the Odom's house. Graciously, Len and Dave let me live there, and Ryan was my roommate.
That's right. Two twin beds.
Two twin beds. And back in the day, Ryan Odom could imitate every single free throw of every player that played at Virginia.
I had Tom Sheehy down, like to the T. Like She-Bop, I could do in a second. The others, I couldn't get Miller in, Jimmy Miller, but Tim Mullen, because I wasn't a lefty, but I definitely had Sheehy down.
But that was a great year. But you're going back to Virginia. What was the biggest thing in terms of your decision to, go back closer to home, closer to mom and dad? You've done an amazing job at Utah State, and I know those people really appreciate that. But how hard was the decision? Because you're leaving a group of players you really connected with, and also a really good situation.
Yeah, no question. I mean, Utah State is an amazing school. Great leadership here. The basketball tradition that exists here is very similar in a lot of ways to VCU in regards to the brotherhood that exists, within the team. It's all about the players and the coaches that have come before you. And that particular team, everybody's all in on whatever year that is. And then it's about planting seeds for the future. And at Utah State, I couldn't be more proud to have been their coach. Even though it's a short 2 years, I feel like I've been here for a long, long time, with these guys, because we are really tight. And that was a hard day. And, going back to talk about this time of year, it's not easy, to have to sit in that locker room and face to face and eye to eye and really tell guys that you love so much that, this is the end, and this is the end of a chapter. And then all of a sudden, 30 minutes later, you walk out of there and you're on a Zoom with the next team, and they're feeling, that way as well, because their coach, just left, and they're so tight with Coach Rhodes and his staff, and they did such a good job. And so it's not easy. The transition's not easy, for any of us. And so it's hard to navigate. The transfer portal certainly is tough. But, obviously going back to the original question, I mean, VCU is a special place. The collection of coaches and players that have come before, obviously our staff now, is second to none. I mean, it's really incredible what they've been able to do, over the course of a long time. And I've admired them obviously from afar, and being obviously in the state there with you at Virginia Tech and watching their program grow and take off, and seeing where it's at now and where, Coach Rhodes has left it in great shape. It's just really exciting, to go in there and see if we could continue that winning tradition, and hopefully, get it back in that NCAA tournament and try to advance again and see where we can get to.
Great facilities, great commitment, great fan base. I mean, similar to what you had in Logan, except, I mean, their facility, that practice facility is as good as any in the country. I mean, really.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, incredible. I actually went in there and watched a practice when I was coaching at UMBC. Watched Coach Rhodes go after it with his team, and beautiful place. I mean, what they've done with it. And so I'm excited, to get there later today and get a chance to visit with the players and all the folks there at VCU.
Yeah, great fan base. So, question for you, changing gears. So first, and close to your mom and dad. I mean, how far will you be from mom and dad?
Probably about 3.5 hours. And obviously Lucy and I spent a number of years up there in Baltimore and Annapolis, and so that's we got close friends up there in that DC Baltimore area, and then obviously you go south from Richmond and North Carolina, where I grew up, and I went to college 50 minutes, from VCU at Hampton-Sydney College, played for Coach Shaver there. So it is a homecoming of sorts, and we're really excited about that.
Well, you got your boy Reb and Zabe. They're blowing up my phone.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
those guys are absolutely hilarious. I mean, like literally, like, I don't know, about this morning, actually, it was Zabe. And then, of course, Jamon has to chirp in and kind of fill in. So I talked to him yesterday. He was working some kids out in his gym, and those guys love you to death. They love you to death. They're really happy for you.
Good gosh,
excited.
they were so good. Yeah. I love those two.
They even made me look smart, so that was a good thing. So now, hey, let's go back to last year at San Diego State. Obviously, they're in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Dutch done an amazing job, just not this year. I mean,
Crazy good.
He does it every single year. What makes them so good?
Yeah, just his demeanor, man. His connection with his players, for sure, is obvious. You watch their team. You're not going to out physical them. You're not going to out tough them. They do a great job of playing to their strengths, and certainly that, as you know, is a major coaching attribute. That's a tribute to the coaching that they do. Now, they're never getting outside of themselves. You're going to have to beat them at their game. And, we had 3 really hard games. They cracked us in the first half at Viejas and San Diego State in the first matchup. We were able to get back in it, in the second half, and had, a minute chance there in the second half. But, when they get going and they're scoring a high number, they're really hard to beat because their defense is always going to be right there with you. And then, the second 2 games, we were right there to win both. But, again, they came out on top, in that championship game, and they just get you to play at their pace. If you're a fast-paced team, it's hard to get them to get going at your pace because they just grind you out, and they figure out ways to switch you and make you take longer to score, and they crush you on the glass, and you end up fouling them, and then that slows the game down. And they duck you in every possession, and they just have a really unique style, a little bit of an old school style, and it works. It's really tough to beat.
They're playing a team that plays fast too. At FAU, the more I've spent all morning watching them, anyone can push that thing. I mean, like they got 4 dudes. If they get a rebound, boom, it's up, and you got to figure out how to match up. Can San Diego State go small? Because I mean, I almost think at some point in the game, you got to go small against FAU to just, they got so many floor gamers that can make a play.
Yeah. The key to that, I think, is they're San Diego State's going to do what they do. Right. And they play 4 bigs, and they bring them in and out. Right. And they all are athletic, and they're all similar sizes. So they can guard guys, and they're long. They can guard guys that are, more athletic and get to the basket, so they can switch and stuff. The key is, can you get rebounds against them?
Yeah.
Because you can't run unless you're just a really good, quick inbound team and get it up the court at them. You have to be able to get first-time rebounds against them in order to be able to get out and run. And there will be some opportunities. We had stretches in games against them where that happened, but they're just so good at crashing the glass, and it really slows your offense down.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, congratulations. I don't want to take too much of your time. Have a safe travel from Logan to Richmond.
To Richmond. All right.
Be safe.
Take care.
Have a safe. Congrats,
Thanks.
man.
All righty.
All right.
Bye-bye. Thanks.